Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about how you can expose your heart's truest, deepest desires through moments of low energy. Because the truth is that the deepest inner work, the deepest level of shadow work and self-discovery is actually happening in those moments of low energy, in those moments of sadness, of emptiness, of loneliness. And the truth is that most people avoid this emotion. They think that by you being in this negative vibration of like low energy, that you need to automatically shake it off, go and do something else. Do something to distract yourself, do something to make you happier. And they don't realize that this is where everything comes up. This is where all of your answers lie. And this is such a potent method of manifestation and also of shadow work, which you guys know are my two most popular topics on this channel, because I think they're the most potent levels of self-development, especially if you're into manifestation. Shadow work comes hand in hand with that. That causes you to manifest 10 times faster rather than just doing the light work. And getting to your truest, deepest desires, your purpose, learning how to literally earn money by playing. This is the stuff that we talk about. This is the stuff that we want. And by avoiding all of these common things, there's a reason why most of the world aren't getting paid to exist, and it's because they don't do these things. These are the things that are out of the ordinary. People are scared to be vulnerable. They're scared to look inside of themselves. People don't do shadow work, right? People don't even want to believe in manifestation to start off with, let alone wanting to do shadow work and purposely get vulnerable with themselves and listen to their truest desires, because a lot of people are scared of learning what their desires are, just in case it's something too unrealistic that they don't believe they can achieve. So what do I mean by this then? And how do we get to the bottom of it? How can you actually get to your truest desires through these moments of low energy? So I'm going to give you a quick example before I go into explaining all of the steps on how you can actually do this through these moments of low vibration. So last year was my deepest inner work journey of forever, essentially, right? And I was on holiday at one point in a different country last year. And it wasn't until I was in this moment of extreme boredom, because essentially what was happening was it was really cold outside, freezing cold. We was in this hotel room. You guys know what hotel rooms are like. They're very small, and there's not really anywhere for you to go and do. And it was in the morning, and I always get up a lot earlier than Aaron, and we were just chilling for the morning. We wasn't going to go out till lunchtime. And I literally had nothing to do, because I don't watch YouTube in the morning. I always get ready to go out. So I did that. I got ready to go out, did everything, skincare, whatever, did a bit of journaling. And then I was like, okay, what now? And I got so bored that I felt sad. I genuinely felt sad. And I was like, this is really weird. I never feel sad. I would regard myself as a happy person. And from that extreme moment of boredom, I was left with nothingness. I was left with emptiness. There was nothing around me. There was no sound. It was just nothingness. And I had been avoiding nothingness for a very long time. So I purposely got deep, and I forced myself to sit in nothingness at home. But my mind was still active because there was food in the kitchen, there was TV, Netflix, all of these things, right? So I still got into the mode of nothingness, but not truly to this level. This happened again another time last year, actually, when I was in Japan again, and I just started crying. This has happened twice now in the last year, actually. And I was like, oh my God, I feel lonely. And this is what I felt. I felt lonely. And then I got to the depths of some things that I'd been feeling, and I realized that I was lonely with myself. I hadn't been giving myself that time. This was such a deep moment for me. I couldn't force myself to get in this scenario because, like I said, when I was in Japan, I was in a remote island in the middle of nowhere. I was doing nothing. I had nothing on the agenda. Same with staying in the hotel room. I literally had nothing. So I honestly, if you're serious about inner work, I would highly, highly recommend literally going and staying somewhere nearby, like an Airbnb or just like literally anything, so that you can get truly quiet with yourself, quieting your mind and getting these moments of boredom. Like literally boredom is the answer. I'm literally going to say boredom is the answer, because boredom is the fastest way to get you into a lower vibration. Not particularly through sadness. Like, yes, you could make yourself sad, I guess, but low vibration, low boredom is so easy to get into when you don't have anything to do. You can't do it in your own home because there's too many distractions. You might think that you're bored, but you know damn right well you could just turn on your phone, go on YouTube, do something. But it's easier when you're in somewhere that you have no idea, like the area, and you're just forced to stay in the hotel room. We're gonna get into like moments like this, okay? So this, imagine you've got like a surface here, right? You are like floating above the surface, and below the surface is like these deep levels of these deep layers, almost like your subconscious emotions, right? And then these moments of low energy, you're so low down that you're almost on this layer of subconscious, unconscious emotions, events, and even trauma. These deepest desires are so deep down that you can't see them from up here. You have to get to the deepest levels of shadow work in order to uncover them. And your heart's desires, your truest, most deepest heart's desires are also all below here, because they're usually part of the shadow self. The part of ourselves that we have buried down for one reason or another. You might think that you want to do something with your life, but really you only want it because it will be good for you, make you successful, give you money, make people proud. I've made a video on this before. And when you do the shadow work, you realize you don't actually want what you really want. So you need to get so vulnerable with yourself to uncover these deep layers of your heart's desires. And again, I'm going to show you how to do these. There's 2 steps to it. And when it's right, here's an example, okay? When you're upset, you know, when you're crying and you're upset, and then you just start crying about something else, and then you cry about something else, and then the original thing you was crying about almost is gone now. You're like, or you're upset about other things, right? This is literally what my holistic therapist, or I don't even know what they're called, they're actually a holistic nutritionist, but they genuinely are like a therapist as well, and also a coach kind of. But they literally told me to think of this one event that I had trapped inside of me for so long and actually cry it out, like keep crying until it was gone. So of course I did this and it cleared it. And the one time I literally just started crying about all these other things that needed to be cried about. Then after that one day of crying about all these things, I couldn't feel sadness for them again. I tried to revisit them to be like, okay, is there anything left inside of me that needs to come out regarding these events? There was nothing. I didn't feel anything anymore. I'd literally cried it out, and these were things I didn't even realize. These are things from when I was 11, bear in mind, that I was crying about that I didn't realize had built up, because it doesn't have to be like a sudden event, like this one day, this one thing happened and it made me upset. A lot of the time it's actually multiple things. Like over time, this sadness builds up, right? And you don't realize it's built up until you explore it. All of these events have built up so much that it's caused you to like push down these desires, right? Like all of this people pleasing, all of this wanting to do something to look successful, to be successful for someone else, has been pushing down your truest desires and your truest talents, because you've disregarded them as things that are unsuitable or unrealistic. So that's an example, is when you're upset about something else, and it all just comes up right when you're sad and you're in these low vibrations. Also, every time I go to the gym, there's things that I do when I go to the gym, and I literally get back from the gym after about 2 or 3 hours of maybe doing a class, or just, you know, I go there with my sister-in-law, so we also just talk a lot, so I'm not literally working out for 2-3 hours, it's just I'm there. And I get back so exhausted that it's so easy for things that are sad about, like things that I never realised I was feeling, they genuinely come up after doing this. So not particularly like really negative things, right? I just start feeling this low vibration, and instead of going to the shop and getting an energy drink, which is what I used to do, still sometimes do if I genuinely am not welcoming the shadow work that day and I need to get stuff done, not going and getting food that's really nice like a McDonald's, not sticking on a Netflix movie, but genuinely sitting with it and journaling on it. I've realised some super deep desires recently just through getting in a low energy state, like accidentally, bear in mind, you could do this purposefully, like I said, through the boredom thing. But what I would also very much recommend is those authentic moments of sadness, of low vibration. Use those to your best advantage and actually just sit with them and thank your body for bringing up those things, because that is where your deepest secrets are going to hide. Like, they are genuinely such deep secrets. Like, your mind has kept them as secrets, and they'll come up and you'll be like, oh my god, I didn't realize I needed to forgive that person. I didn't realize I wanted to move abroad or go to this country, go traveling. And it's like they'll all just start coming up. So here's 2 ways on how you're going to be able to do that. The first is when you're in this low vibration, this low energy of like emptiness, almost like a sadness, but it's more like an emptiness, right? Ask yourself first of all why you feel that way. So you'll either think of a certain thing that happened just today or the other day, and that's bothering you and causing you to feel sad, which is great, because first of all, you can then start to clear that shadow and that emotion that's been bothering you and pulling down your vibration this whole time. All of the shadow work that can be done to elevate your being, that's all in Paid to Exist. So all of the shadow work relating to this on how to pull up the emotion, that will include thinking of why you feel like that. Why do I feel like it? Okay, something's bothering me, clear it, do that, right? It's not gonna be cleared unless you bring it up and realize what you're feeling and why you're feeling it. Then maybe you then go into the next step, or maybe you go straight into this step and you think, just because, I'm just sad because and I don't know why. So you'll either be like, right, this one thing is bothering me, clear it, and then you're like, actually, I'm just sad now, just because I am, right? Most of the time for me, I'm just sad just because, which shows me that it's not particularly shadows that I need to clear or trauma or anything like that. It's more of a lack. So it's like there's something going on right now where I'm not feeling my fullest potential, my fullest self. And this is also talked about a lot in psychology, and when there's a gap between where you want to be and where you are right now, this is the biggest cause of people to be dysfunctional, to be depressed, anxious, all of these things. They are just not fulfilled, essentially, because they have where they want to be and they have where they are right now, and there's this massive gap. And when there's the biggest gap, this is when people are the most depressed and the most unfulfilled. Whereas when you get closer to it, you can feel, people become their happiest selves, right? When they are truly living in their purpose. And this is what they call a fully functioning person, essentially, which is basically when you've done your inner work, guys. All of these psychologists have been talking about this version of you that's the highest level version of you, the happiest, the most fulfilled. A fully functioning person is what they say, and essentially it's just when you've done all of your inner work. And they think that it takes people years to get to this point, like literally like old wise people, essentially, that are like fully functioning, they're wise, they're good to everyone, they're polite, they know what they want, they're super strong in character, super wise, very emotionally intelligent, right? But the truth is that you can do this very fast, actually. It might still take you a few years, it could take you a few months, but through inner work is like a quantum leap into this version of you. And obviously the best way to do that is to get into this moment of low vibration. One of the best ways is getting into this low vibration. And then the step number 2 is, what would feel good right now? This question, when you ask yourself, will be the thing where your intuition will kick in, where your deepest heart's desires might come up in many different ways. And this is where you can see the gap then between where you're at right now and where you want to be. And also, as a disclaimer, there is a lot of people that might say, just edited my camera there, there's a lot of people that will say, well, if I do this, Isn't there an endless cycle of constantly wanting more? If I get something, I'll normalize it, I want something else. Yes and no. You will get to a point where you have everything and you genuinely don't want anything else. As long as you have done your inner work and you are a fully functioning person that is grateful for their life, of course, you will get to a point in your life where you literally have everything. You have manifested everything. You are the happiest version of you that you have ever been. As long as you remain grateful for where you're at and excited for where you're going, there has to be a middle balance. Don't listen to the people who currently have the lower consciousness that think all of these things that are limiting beliefs, like, oh, you're going to be in a hamster wheel of constantly wanting more, because, you know, a lot of people do think that. Listen to the higher people that are of the higher consciousness that want to go where you are going, okay? So what would feel good right now? This is what you need to ask yourself after the first question of why do you feel this way? What would feel good right now? There might either be an immediate thing that you need to do in that moment, or secondly, there might be a big thing that you need to do. Either way, the small thing might lead to a big thing. In fact, it most likely is going to lead to a bigger thing. And in this moment of self-discovery, your heart is literally going to show you what it's yearning for. Like, it's literally going to be like, I need this in my life. This is a true desire. Like, there's nothing left in me right now. There's no energy left in me right now. There's no power to think. It's just coming straight from my heart, straight from my intuition. And this is the best moment where when you ask yourself what would feel good right now, this is where you're going to get the most potent answer. This is where I've had so many potent answers before. Like, I was literally just painting this one day and then I went live for the first time ever, my best live ever. Now I love going live. I didn't have that idea unless I sat in those moments of silence with myself. It wasn't a moment of sadness, but it was a moment of silence. I was painting because my body was like, I just want to paint right now. I'm going to play a little bit, let my inner child come out, I'm going to paint. And it literally led to one of the best decisions that I made on my YouTube channel. So what would feel good right now? Do I just need to cry? Or do I need to do something small, do something big? It could literally be like, I need to cry. And then when you've cried it out, then you can think of, what do I need right now? And then it might be literally like something small, for example, like you just need a hug from your partner, or you need to tell your family members that you love them. Just something very simple like that you might have been missing in your life, that your heart has been yearning for, that you needed this one thing to happen, that it hasn't happened, and it's such a small little thing. Or it might be a massive thing where your body is literally like, I want to travel the world, I want to move country, or even just I want to move house, I want to move back in with my family. Like, literally nothing, anything. This might seem very illogical because it's not come from your mind, it's come from your heart. And your heart is not logical, right? It's like a true desire, it's a want, it's a need, right? There's no logic. There's only logic will start to kick in after your heart has come up with the thing, and that's when you'll jump to your headspace and you'll start reasoning with it, and I'm like, oh, well, this is not reasonable, like, is this true? You'll start questioning the desire. Ignore that, right? You need to stay in your body. And this is why it's come up in the first place. Because you're in such a low energy mode, there's nothing left in your body. There's no room for your mind to start thinking and overcomplicating and overthinking, right? That's why it's come up in the first place. So it's so important to listen to it when it comes up and follow that road of, maybe it tells you to paint, maybe it tells you to literally move abroad, but it will come up in the moments of sadness, of emptiness, of the most vulnerability. That is when you're going to be literally, I don't even know the word, but like nose to nose with your shadow self. Is in those moments of sadness. You will literally be nose to nose with your shadow self, and your shadow self is layers. So the first thing that comes up is going to be the most potent thing that you need to work through. Then maybe you work through it. and actually do the work to work through it. And then there's another layer. So this is a more, another layer to work on. Unrelated, related to the first layer, who knows. Then you work through another layer. Then you work through all of these layers that will come up. You don't need to work on them all at once. You don't need to get crying every day, get sad every day, get bored every day. You don't need to do all of these things at once, because as your life happens, these things will come up. The things that need to be worked on in that moment to achieve that next level of you will come up as life happens. As long as you listen to them when they come up and actually clear them, then you'll be able to hear the other ones. And you'll be able to get through all of those layers. You'll be able to work through your shadow self, bring up the positive shadows that you are going to be able to literally use to live your purpose. The sides of you that you have suppressed, that are the most potent, magnetic versions of you, those are the truest desires that, because they're so heart aligned, when you decide to manifest them and you actively manifest and pursue them, they will happen instantly, like so fast. It's always the heart desires that happen fast and instantly, because the universe likes speed. And as soon as you decide it and give yourself permission to go after it, it will happen in the blink of an eye. If you are manifesting something and you have been trying and trying over and over again, either it's just not a heart-aligned desire, which is the most common reason. This is literally the two most common reasons why your manifestation won't happen, is it's not heart-aligned. It's something that you think you want, which is why it's so important to check in with your desires every once in a while and ask yourself, why do I want this? What feeling will it give me? And then the feeling might be like, oh, I'll feel proud of myself. Okay, well, why do I need to feel proud of myself? Is it because I feel like unless I'm proud of myself, everyone else won't be proud of me too? In that case, you're just trying to please other people. Are you trying to please your parents, right? Or is it this feeling of fulfillment, this feeling of love, right? Then it's usually a heart desire. So it's either because it's not a heart-line desire, or because you're trying too hard. In which case, why are you trying so hard? You need to be more in the present moment. Stop trying to rush the future, because it's coming from a vibration of lack. You're saying to the universe, I don't have it, I don't have it, I don't have it. I need this because I don't have it right now. But half of the equation is you getting to truth with what you want through these deep, low moments of vulnerability. It's so easy to list a million things that you want when you're happy. I could come up with 10 things right now that I want in the near future because I'm happy in this moment. But if I was to get sad and empty and low energy, I would literally just think of one big thing that would be pulling at my heart in that moment. And it might not seem like a very significant thing. It might be to just go and paint. Or it might be something extremely significant, like I want to move countries, right? Whatever that is in that moment, that is the thing that you need to do. You need to listen to. Because again, this is when everything is quiet and your intuition and your heart is loud, right? You don't need energy to listen to your heart. You don't need energy to listen to your intuition. You need energy to listen to your mind, to come up with a logical explanation and a logical analysis, to come up with an idea. It comes from your brain, and that needs energy. Your heart doesn't need energy. Your intuition doesn't need energy. It just is. So therefore, that is why it's so important to get into this moment of energyless, sadness, boredom. That is why the truest desires will actually come up in these moments. So yeah, I'm not going to go on for any longer because this video is already 25 minutes long. So I'm not going to explain it anymore. Hopefully it makes sense. I don't want to overcomplicate it or anything. But I hope this video helped you very much so. This is pulled from the Lightwork section of Paid to Exist. So if you want to go more in depth into actually, you know what? It's kind of light work. It's kind of shadow work to get to the light work. So you guys know that it's split into shadow work, light work, the courses. This is the shadow work to uncover the light work. Okay, so this is some of the shadow work you can do to uncover that. Like, this is one of the ways that you can do that. Essentially, there is so much shadow work that you can do to uncover this next version of you. This is like the tip of the iceberg, right? Once you actually know what you want, that is amazing. And that is exactly what I want everyone to know through this channel, is what do you want, right? What do you want to manifest? How to manifest? I want everyone to know that, right? Because that is just absolutely priceless to everyone. The way that you want to learn how to get there, how to step into that new version of you, is up to you. You can either learn through my specific coaching or my programs, or you can go elsewhere, but I want you to realize what you want, right? And then the how do you get there? You choose how you want to get there. Who do you want to listen to get to that point? Because everyone will have different ways of getting to that point. Paid to exist is my way of getting there. That is all of the shadow work, all of the questions, the journaling. This will help you realize, right? You are the only person that can realize. Anyone that's going to be able to tell you what you want is lying. Like, you are the one that knows. I'm just here to help you realize that. Everything on how to change your mind, onto how to switch your self-concept, how to step into that version of you, is all in the shadow work part. And then all of the light work is literally helping you like change your self-concept into that positive version that can hold this new reality, that can make this new reality happen. Because a lot of us, we can't hold it. We don't have the capacity. We don't have the belief system. We don't have the deservingness, the worthiness. It's all just not there. Like, we finally know what we want, but we can't quite step into the boots. It's like the boots don't fit yet, right? So that's what the light work part is about, right? So anyways, again, not gonna go on for any longer. That will be out very soon. If you want to sign on to notifications, they're all down below. There's not a website yet, actually, so maybe you can't sign on to notifications, but either way, I'll make a video and everything on when it's actually out. So hope that helped you today, and have a lovely rest of your day, and good luck with manifesting and doing your inner work.